right against light armor, but Mutalisks are going to come in there and just wipe him. So as you can see here, he's starting to pick up his Thors, which always look funny in these shuttles. Meanwhile, down here, I've got my queens, I've got larvae injected everywhere, and I can start to, or you can see these infestors have started, and I got the neural parasites. And so I've got these hydras here, I've got a couple of lings, I've got a few roaches, want to get some more of those. Really teching on the hydras now, and I've got plenty of infestors. I mean, 5 is quite a few. I could do a little more to keep my larvae around, but I started teching this lave to a hive, because I'm thinking if he's getting Thors, I want broodlords because they just eat. I mean, they just eat Thors alive. You know, even playing well, they eat them alive pretty hard. So he's got another factory back here. He's teching real hard to the armor. A couple of starports, and he's dropping his command center, his orbital command here, and so he's going to be able to see that. Just way too defensive. I mean, with somebody like this, you've got to be ready to go. And so he's got a decent force here. He's got 2 tanks and 2 of these, and he's flying down here. He's probably going to try to hit me with them. I think he sees all the stuff I have here, and there's a little bug where he's attacking me, and I can see him, but I can't attack him, and so I do have a good scout on him there. I don't know about these yet, but I'm ready for anything. You know, I put a hatchery out here. I've now got an overlord here, and I popped overlords, dropping creep in a couple different locations. That way he can't immediately expand anywhere. I don't like putting the overlord right there because it's so vulnerable to anything walking under it. You know, putting it here with the creep dropping is not really helping anything anyway. It might have worked better if I just put him right here, but what do you do? So he's got these. He's got 1 Viking here, and he's ready to go medevac, try to medevac tank drop me with these Thors, take advantage of the high ground here and see if he can actually do something. So he's doing that. Here they come. I see them going in there, and I know that I'm going to just pop him with Infestor. So he's gone after this Overlord, but he doesn't kill it. He's way too focused on trying to set himself up to take things out. And so I'm going to run up there with my Infestors, keep him distracted there, and I'm going to grab one of those tanks, and then I'm going to grab the 2 Thors as well. So he goes over to try to attack those Infestors, which is just what I wanted to do. Now I've got the tanks and the Thors. There go the tanks. Now I'm going to make... And I've got some Lings coming up in here, getting attacked by this tank. So I'm going to go ahead and try picking on this. It's not going to get very far. I do have a couple upgrades of my Lings. This upgrade's going to finish here soon. I'm going to pick up melee attacks too and adrenal glands in a little while. I'm keeping larvae down as best I can most of the time. I'm trying to macro manage all of my units here. I don't want to send all my overlords out because I don't want to get Psylocked again, and he's going to try to come in here and attack me pretty soon. He picks on this here, moves his tanks up. He's going to push things around there a little bit. See, I got a couple of Hydras here, and I'm going to excuse me, I'm going to pull these back. Picks off the drones that I was trying to send over here. So I've got the extractor started. Got quite a few Hydras here, and that's just simply to counter him. And I'm going to turn these Corruptors into Broodlords, get a couple more of them, and then I'll probably have a few Corruptors around too, because they're nice to have, especially against battlecruisers. So I know he's got some tanks. Vikings I really just don't care that much about. I mean, it's just not that useful of a unit. There are times when it can be useful, but their chain gun is not that great. They're good anti-air, but they're just going to get torn up by Hydras once again. So I've only got 2 Infestors here. I would have liked to get more, but I'm focusing more on turning these into Broodlords here in a second. He's going to start moving in. He's doing kind of a battlecruiser tank push, which is interesting. But he's left his tanks unsieged in the back. He's not really prepared. He's in this kind of weird formation with nothing sieged or anything. And so I start moving in here. I'm going to go ahead and start picking on him, and here comes this big fight. I'm going to slow it down once we hit this fight. I don't remember exactly what's going on, but he scans that, sees it, and I decide to go in. And so I'm going to slow this down just slightly to normal. You can see that I do get corruption on a couple of these. You can see me spitting it out on my Corruptors here. He's got that, so they're going to take more damage. I'm taking these Hydras in here, and right now I'm focusing down these battlecruisers as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, these have already taken out all the tanks. And I've got, almost 16, 17 Hydras left, and all his battlecruisers are down. He's in serious trouble now because he's got decent amount of minerals, no way to cover his expansions. His whole defensive prowess here has left him with a bunch of command centers he can do nothing with. They can't go anywhere. He's going to try to get over here, but I've got pretty good scouts all over the place. He's going to try to do some harassing, but right now I have the superior amount of minerals. I mean, I'm expanded in a couple different places. I haven't done anything with these yet. These overlords are kind of hanging out. I'm going to start moving these drones around as this gas runs out. And I'm almost out of minerals here, so I'm going to need to move them to another place. I'm going to send almost all these drones over here. I've already moved most of these drones up to here, which is why the drones are doing pretty well. Start spreading those out, getting larvae, and I'm just going to push towards ending the game now. That's going to involve coming at him. I'm scouting him right now with these lings. It's really just a scouting force, and so I'm going to pick on some of his stuff, go in, probably get a Hellion or two here. He's got his Vikings, so he'll drop those to the ground, but as you see, they're not very good ground forces. They don't do a whole lot. So I've got, most of those. I got a couple of broodlings or broodlords, and I'm going to come in here and try to do the best that I can, take out what I can before he gets expanding. I do see him flying around, moving around here a little bit. He's going to try to get this one up. It's his best rich mineral deposit, but he doesn't have a lot to defend with. He's going to lose most of these SCVs here in a couple of moments. And I've pulled these off and turned them into broodlords. So now I have 5 broodlords here again. And so broodlords are going to go ahead and pick on his stuff. As you can see, the Vikings will go at my broods, all right, but the Hydralisks are just going to take them out. So speed things up again, get the faster ×2, and the Hydras just pick them off before they can even take out one of the broodlords. And so he's going to lose this. It's pretty vital to him. He's got his mules on it. He's down out of gas. And he's running out of things to do. He could try taking this guy over here, but I'm going to see it, and I don't even know if he could land here. That creep is right about in the spot where he needs to be. He's tried to land here, but I had the Zergling patrolling, and I noticed that. So slowing things down again. This is going to wrap it up here in a couple of moments. He's out of minerals. He turtled up real well and delayed the game for quite a while with his turtling. But he obviously didn't know how to get forward out of that. I mean, more tanks would have been better, a lot more tanks. When you see somebody going Hydras, tanks just tear them apart, or Hellions. He didn't really have much of each. He had that final battle, he had battle cruisers, and that was really it. Battle cruisers, 4 or 5 tanks, and I had broodlords, so he's going to lose those tanks right away. He's got 1 battle cruiser here and a tank up here. He gets a little mouthy here in a little while about how unlucky that he wasn't, that we weren't next to each other, but I don't really believe anything he says there. So I'm going to go in and take out this planetary fortress. I'll lose a couple Hydras. These things hurt pretty bad. They're kind of obnoxious like that, and so he's going to go ahead and start firing away at me here. But this is going to disappear pretty quick. So I burrow that one. Late game Zerg is too powerful. Alright, sure. So apparently position makes a big difference on this map, and it can, depending on the strategy you go. But if that was the same situation, I probably would have been coming through the center here. And so he's doing what he can, and I'm just going to pick apart the rest of this. I'm going to speed it up. There's not a whole lot going on except for some conversation between him and I. So I'm going to finish off all of the stuff here. Don't really like people who complain about stuff like this, I mean, he's just whining because he lost. So whatever happens, happens. I move these broodlords out, and I'm just going to have to kill all of his structures because he's not leaving. So I'll kill off the last of his structures here, and that's going to end the game. There we go. So thanks for watching. Pretty active game against a turtling type of Terran while I was trying to be as expansive as I could, especially after that Reaper rush. I tried my best not to let it take anything out of me. So thanks for watching. I'll have a couple more videos posted by the end of the weekend.